Okay, so you all apparently liked my last banned cartoons video, so I'm here to give the people what they want.
Another one.
That's right, I searched through the dark web to bring you 3 more cartoons that were deemed so offensive they were banned from airing. And just like last time, I'm not going to tell you why they were banned until the end of each segment. I want to see if you can figure it out for yourselves first. So let's not waste any more time. The first banned cartoon we're going to be covering is from an anime I'm sure a couple of you out there are familiar with.
Pokémon! 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 Let's do it.
Now, it's no secret that I've been a Pokemon fan for a long time. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with the games and made sure to never miss an episode of the anime. However, I didn't know until years later that some of the episodes never saw the light of day in America. One of the most prominent episodes was The Legend of Dratini. The episode begins with Ash, Brock, and Misty on their way to the Safari Zone, an enclosed Pokemon habitat where they can find and catch various rare Pokemon. Upon approaching the zone, they're confronted by the owner of the Safari Zone, Kaiser, who makes a bold entrance. Kaiser gives the gang safari balls and a fishing rod, and explains the rules of the Safari Zone. Afterwards, Misty notices a picture on the wall with a younger Kaiser beside the rare Pokemon Dratini. Kaiser is quick to tell them that there aren't any Dratini in the Safari Zone. But after a call with Professor Oak, they learn that Kaiser was in fact the person who discovered Dratini, and that it led to mass amounts of trainers ransacking the Safari Zone in search of the dragon themselves. With this knowledge in hand, the 3 set out to begin their Safari Zone adventure, but are quickly confronted by Team Rocket, who overheard the story of Dratini.
I started blasting.
They're quickly dealt with, and decide to challenge Ash and friends to a competition to see who can catch the most Pokemon. If Ash wins, they'll leave him alone forever. If they win, they get all of the Pokemon Ash catches, including Pikachu. Ash confidently agrees, and the contest is on. Ash quickly catches a Tauros and attempts to catch a Rhyhorn. Oh, and they accidentally reel in a Gyarados! While Ash and friends are catching Pokemon, Team Rocket kidnaps Kaiser and interrogates him to find the location of Dratini, so they can capture it for themselves. Unfortunately for them, Kaiser won't talk, so they resort to more and more methods of torture until he finally breaks. Kaiser rushes to find the gang and inform them that Team Rocket is heading to the Valley of the Dragons, the location where he met Dratini all of those years ago. They rush to the valley to find Team Rocket preparing to drop a stun bomb in the lake to snuff out Dratini. They drop the bomb in the lake, and Kaiser and Ash quickly jump in to retrieve it before it can explode. Ash reaches the bomb, but runs out of breath before he can reach the surface, falling back into the abyss. Luckily, he's saved by a mysterious figure. It's none other than Dragonair, the evolved form of Dratini. Ash gives Team Rocket their bomb back, and they go blasting off again. Then Kaiser notices that the Dragonair has a cracked horn, just like the Dratini that he met so many years ago. I'm not crying, you're crying! With their Safari Zone adventure complete, Ash and friends reach out to Professor Oak once more to send him all of the 30 Pokemon they caught along the way. The gang then departs for their next journey under the watchful eye of Dragonair and Dratini. And that's it. So yeah, I really liked this episode. It was really good and had some serious heartfelt moments to it. It also filled in plot holes that future episodes had, like where in the world did Ash catch his stampede of Tauros from? But onto the reason you're here. Why was this episode banned? Did you figure it out? The reason that this episode was banned was... yeah, it's all the guns. I'm sure you noticed, but the entire episode is filled with Kaiser and even Team Rocket threatening and pointing guns at each other. That's a pretty touchy subject in the West and was deemed inappropriate for a kids show. There was also concern about Meowth's mustache strongly resembling a certain dictator, but I personally think they were just going for the detective look.
I can eat a vegan!
Did you get that one right? Well, congratulations. That was the easy one. You did it. Now, let's crank up the difficulty a little and move right into our next band episode. The next band cartoon episode we'll be discussing is from Dexter's Lab. Again! Well, sort of. The band episode isn't so much Dexter's Lab, as it is one of the shorts that would routinely air in between Dexter's two stories. The short series was called Dial M for Monkey, and featured Dexter's pet monkey, who unbeknownst to him, had superpowers, and would routinely help special agents save the world. The band episode of Dial M for Monkey was called Barbequor. The episode begins with Monkey receiving a telepathic call from Agent Honeydew.
We need you, Monkey. Hurry!
He flies over to confront the danger, only to find out that he's been summoned for his own birthday barbecue. Joined by the other agents, superheroes, and even the Justice Friends, which are another Dexter's Lab short, they begin enjoying Monkey's birthday party. Hey, what are you looking at?
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
Everyone is having a great time, and the infraggable Krunk is getting sloshed.
Grunk say monkey friggin' greatest!
Unfortunately, the party is crashed by a silvery stranger who steals all of their condiments.
That silvery swindler has commandeered our condiments!
Him take ketchup and mustard too!
Monkey takes off after him, but is stopped because,
It's your birthday, monkey. Relax, have a drink.
Instead, the special forces are deployed. They confront the silvery figure to discover he's the Silver Spooner.
Herald of and personal valet to Barbequor, Eater of Worlds!
The forces converge on the Barbequor, but their attacks are useless.
Look at that light. I don't know what it is, but I feel strangely drawn towards it.
Eat Dad!
Meanwhile on Earth, the birthday festivities continue until the partygoers realize the special forces have been defeated. Now, it's time for Monkey to confront the threat.
Oh no, Monkey! It's your birthday! We'll handle this.
So the Justice Friends go instead, and are disposed of accordingly. Now there's only Monkey, who has to finally take matters into his own paws.
It's up to Monkey now.
And it's up to you to drive Krunk home.
He flies up to confront the pair, only to be informed he's too late.
Even now, my master is preparing his planetary shish kebab.
An epic fight between Monkey and the Silver Spooner ensues, and after a brilliant diversion,
Judy Garland, where?
Monkey is able to get around the surfer and gag the Barbequor, saving the solar system. The day is saved, and Monkey returns to Earth, where he's thanked and asked to perform one last favor.
Here. No, over there. No, that's not Grunk's house. Maybe this not Frank Street. Next.
Oh, that was fun. So, why did it get banned? Any guesses? There was actually a couple reasons I came up with when I was watching it, but the real answer might surprise you. It's not because the Silver Spooner was implied to be homosexual, or that the infraggable Kronk got absolutely slammed. The real reason that the episode got banned was due to threats from none other than Marvel, complaining that the Silver Spooner was a direct and inappropriate copyright infringement of their own Silver Surfer. But I do feel like the homosexual tendencies of the Surfer are what Marvel had the biggest issue with, since the rest of the Justice Friends are pretty much directly ripped off Marvel characters as well. And it's a shame, because this was one of the funnier episodes of the miniseries that I can remember. But alas, that seems to be the case with most of our entries on these videos. So, how are you doing so far? Did you get the last two right? If so, let me know in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe while you're down there. It helps the channel out a lot. Now, it's time for the third and final banned episode. For the final episode, we're covering one of the most beloved cartoon franchises of all time.
Oh! Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants!
Now, SpongeBob is no stranger to controversy. Over the years, there have been multiple scenes and even a couple episodes that have been banned or pulled years after airing, like Midlife Crustacean, which I covered in a short recently. But today's episode is way more recent. The episode is called Kwarantined Krab. The episode opens with SpongeBob and friends inside the Krusty Krab.
Well, here's your Krabby Patty.
Then, completely unannounced, the health inspector arrives.
The health inspector? But I already bribed him this year!
The inspector pulls out a device and scans the crew, making a grim discovery.
Just as I feared, someone in this restaurant is infected with the highly contagious clam flu.
He immediately quarantines the Krusty Krab, and the gang reacts just as maturely as people do in the real world. They all begin to panic, wondering who's the infected one, and begin to turn on each other. Squidward accidentally hurls pepper at SpongeBob, causing him to start sneezing, which, as we all know, is definitely the plague. The group decides that the only way to stop everyone else from catching the clam flu is to lock SpongeBob in the Krusty Krab freezer. SpongeBob decides to go willingly to protect his friends and is locked in the freezer.
It sounds like he's really suffering in there. I can't bear to look. Can someone describe it to me?
Jesus Christ, Mrs. Puff is kind of fucked up. Luckily, unbeknownst to the rest of the group, the freezer is a winter wonderland full of ice cream and fun. While SpongeBob is having the time of his life, Patrick notices and decides he wants to get in on that.
Boy, I sure am feeling under the leather.
Meanwhile, Squidward, Pearl, Mrs. Puff, and Mr. Krabs sit down to discuss the possibility that more people are infected, and sure enough, the signs begin to show themselves. One by one, Mr. Krabs suspects that the others may be infected, and subsequently locks them in the freezer until he's the only one that remains. The rest of the group quickly realizes that no one inside the freezer is actually sick, which means that the one that was actually infected was none other than Mr. Krabs himself. Squidward devises a plan to escape, but SpongeBob is content staying in the freezer. Well, for a little bit at least.
You can't cook Krabby Patties if you're locked in the freezer.
All right, let's put this crab on ice.
The Freezer Squad breaks out and confronts Mr. Krabs, who quickly escapes from their wrath, and an elaborate struggle ensues until they're interrupted by someone at the door, the health inspector. He's there to tell them that he was actually using his sickness scanner upside down.
Nobody was actually sick. Oh, what a goof.
But upon entering the restaurant, discovered something much worse.
Beast gout. Moldy measles. Flash trichinosis. Bunny bronchitis. Whole shebang.
The health inspector immediately re-quarantines the Krusty Krab and relocates it to somewhere that the public will have no chance of ever coming into contact with.
Barbequor.
Roll credits. So, this episode was pretty interesting and covered a topic that gives me the weirdest flashbacks. So why was this episode banned? Well, if you were alive during 2020, you might just have an idea. If you weren't alive then, YouTube isn't a babysitter. But yes, the episode was banned due to the clam flu's similarities to coronavirus and the themes of being quarantined. The episode was originally slated to air in 2020, and the creators claimed that any and all similarities to COVID were completely unintentional. But they sure did capture the paranoia accurately. The episode was unfortunately banned from airing, but there's good news. Due to COVID's decline, Nickelodeon decided that it was finally time for Kwarantined Krab to see the light of day, and began airing the episode just a couple weeks ago. And yes, I'm fully aware of the flood of comments telling me this episode isn't banned anymore. You obviously didn't watch the full video, and I implore everyone that did to call them out for it. But I'm honestly glad this episode is finally seeing the light of day. It's legitimately funny, and I really enjoyed the paranoia from the different characters. It kind of reminded me of my favorite horror movie. But that aside, I definitely recommend you give Kwarantined Krab a watch for yourself. So, how many did you get right? Did you get all of them? Let me know in the comments, and also be sure to like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. Also, I want to thank you all for the huge amount of support you gave my last video. YouTube is tough sometimes, and it's really easy to get discouraged, but seeing all of the supportive comments and likes really gave me the motivation to keep making videos. So as long as you'll have me, I'll keep bringing them to you. Until next time.